Well, supporters of former President Jacob Zuma will be holding a night vigil ahead of his court appearance on corruption charges tomorrow. That's coming up in Durban, and that's where we go to now. My colleague Samkele Maseko has been spending a few days down in Durban in the build-up to this. Hello to you, Samkele. So the night of reckoning, or the night before the day of reckoning, one would say perhaps, is here. We've been seeing support building up throughout the entire week, and we're now resulting in a vigil.
Yes, indeed, Gareth. It seemingly looks like there will be a night vigil here at Albert Park in Durban for former President Jacob Zuma, the former president of the country and of the ANC. I'm just going to ask my colleague just to show you those former MK combatants there wearing their uniforms. A number of luxurious German machines have come into the park here in their pledge to support the former president. They will be having a motorcade that will be going around the CBD, showing and campaigning for support for ordinary South Africans to come out and support the former president tomorrow at the Durban High Court as he heads there to face off on his fraud, corruption and money racketeering charges, 16 charges that he faces from the National Prosecuting Authority. But let's just take a listen to what Jesse Duarte, the Secretary General of the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, rather, had to say about those who are sympathetic to the former president, who are said to be forming a party of their own, which is the African Transformation Congress. Let's just listen to what Jesse Duarte had to say.
Look, we haven't sat down, but let's not be... The reason I'm raising this as emotional investment by the media is worrisome. Why would a Jacob Zuma, who's been in the ANC for his entire life, decide now to leave the ANC? Is it because he is objecting to the particular manner in which some people are speaking about him on Facebook and elsewhere? And he objects to it, and it looks like he's forming a breakaway party. I doubt sincerely that a Jacob Zuma would form a breakaway party against the ANC. Up to now, what we have in front of us is that he has said, I will never leave the ANC. I am not forming another political party. He said so. Now, when a person says that, one must actually accept that. There's contrasts that we may have, where people went to cope after Polokwane, and they immediately formed a political party. They didn't say, I will never leave the ANC. They went and they formed COPE, you know. This is a man who says, I will not leave the ANC. And so I think that before the emotional investment is doubt, let us make sure that we know who are the leaders who formed this political party, and take it from there. We haven't met former President Zuma, no. We haven't said that we should and that we would, but probably it would be a good idea to have a conversation with him as soon as possible, so that we in the ANC understand this former leader of ours better than others do. And I don't think we should be so attached to the emotional investment of seeing him as somebody who is a rogue. And that is really the difficulty that we must contend with.
All right, Samkele, so Jesse Duarte coming out to mention the topic of this rumor, the rumor mill going around, allegations that the former president might be leaving the party. It seems, according to Jesse Duarte, that'll never be the case. She quoted a number of occasions where he said he will never leave the ANC. He's always been in the ANC. What are you hearing about these leaving rumors? Any more on that story?
Well, Gareth, I bring this topic up particularly at this point in time. You'd remember yesterday that the former president was addressing COSAS supporters, the Congress of South African Students, there at the Durban City Hall. And he had a stern warning to the General Secretary, rather, of the South African Communist Party and the SACP as a whole, when he said that they must not continue to provoke him, because if they do provoke him, he will speak out. These allegations come at a time when Bladen Zamanda, the General Secretary of the SACP, last week did say that they suspect that the former president is got does rather have a hand in dividing the ANC in the province, which heads to its all-important conference this weekend at the University of Zululand in the Greater Zululand District come Friday, tomorrow afternoon. In fact, as soon as the former president, Jacob Zuma, finishes at his court appearance here at the Durban High Court, we will all rush to the Zululand University, the University of Zululand, where the ANC conference will be kicking off. At this point in time, it's only those who are supposedly his supporters who are saying that they will be forming this breakaway party. He himself has denounced this notion, but this also comes at a time where the ANC is heavily divided in the province. You've got regions such as the Moses Mabhida region, which is led by Mzi Zuma and Mthandeni Lungwana, who are strong supporters of the former president, who want a regional conference at all costs. They are even threatening to go to court. But it's all these issues that go back to the time when the former president, Jacob Zuma, was a deputy secretary general of the ANC and also the provincial chairperson of the ANC in the province. This was just after the 1991 conference that the ANC held in Westville here, when they were officially unbanned by the apartheid government, where Nelson Mandela was elected the president of the ANC. So Jacob Zuma has a long-rooted history politically within the ANC in this province, where he quelled tensions between the IFP and the ANC. So it's going to be interesting on how he politically maneuvers these current political storms, which is entangled with the legal warfare is currently entangled with in all those 16 charges of fraud, corruption and money racketeering that he will be facing tomorrow here at the Durban High Court.